Hi guys, you're welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Ria, and in this channel I give you lifestyle, immigration content and some days self-development content. But as you can see from the title of this video, it's going to be an immigration content today. It's just a few thousands of people that actually leave Ireland and move back to their own country. If you must know, there's actually more people that migrate into Ireland than people that actually leave Ireland, as far as I know, within the past few years. But in this video, I'm here to give you guys the reasons why these few people that leave still leave. I have quite a number of them. I think about 7 reasons that I have researched and written down, and I'm about to share with you guys in this video. If this is something that you would want to see, something that you would want to know about, if you're looking to migrate into Ireland, or if you're already here and you're looking to maybe stay, there are some things that I think that you should know. So the very first reason why immigrants actually leave Ireland after they have been in the country for a while is because finding a job is pretty difficult. Best of my knowledge, I know that a lot of students, a lot of people who are in Ireland, or people that I know that are in Ireland at the moment, have actually come here using the school route. So if you come here as a student, either as an undergrad, a master's student, or a PhD student, if you're an undergraduate student, you're given an extra year once you're done with your studies to look for a job. If you're a master's student, you're given 2 years. If you came here as a PhD student, I think 3 years or 2 years, I'm not really sure, but one of the two. And once you're given those 2 years, for example, as a master's student, I was given 2 years, or I'm given 2 years after I'm done with my studies to look for a job that would sponsor my employment permit, visa, or a job that I'll be able to at least sponsor myself. So there are like 2 ways that you could actually get your employment permit, but that's going to be a video for another day. So I need to either find a job that is in line with my field of study, or it's a critical skill and would give me sponsorship, or I'll be able to sponsor myself. And within the next 2 years, if I don't find a job that would do that for me, I'm out of Ireland. Especially during this COVID period that most of us actually came. It's been so hard getting a job. I know a couple of people that have actually left, a handful of people that are planning to leave because their 2 years or the extension that the government has given is already expiring. Just imagine the government did not give any extension. They have given us a good number of months for extension to keep on looking for a job. Just imagine the government did not give any extension to anybody. That means at the end of your second year, if you've not found a job that would enable you get your employment permit, you're literally out of the country. And that's one of the reasons I know, if not the very first reason I know that people actually migrate out of Ireland for, especially if you've come here, as a student, and you know that you can't just keep on living here without getting a job that would sponsor you, without getting a job that you'll be able to sponsor yourself with. And there are actually tips to avoid this. Number 1, I will keep on saying, know the country that you're going to, know the courses that boom in that particular country. If you're going to a country like Ireland, for example, you could study what you want to study, but you have to be very strategic when you're actually studying some kind of courses. For example, I studied international public policy and diplomacy. What was I thinking? I keep on saying this. What was I really thinking when I was coming to Ireland to study that particular course? I would have probably studied business or health. Health is in hot demand right now. Like, health as a course is in hot demand, and that doesn't mean that because you studied, let's say, public health for your master, that doesn't mean that you would literally get a job like ASAP. Like, yes, you will get a job. It's just that studying strategic courses, or courses that the country is in demand for, keeps you in a better chance of applying for numerous jobs. There are a lot of opportunities in health, in business, in IT, in finance, accounting, let's say, maybe. Yes, these courses that I have just mentioned are in like really high demand in Ireland. So one of the reasons to avoid that is kind of try to be very strategic in your course of choice and also your country of choice. The second reason, in order for you to actually be able to find a job faster, is that you have to build your skills, you have to build your experiences regarding the course of choice or the kind of job that you want for yourself. It's one thing to have a master's degree or a bachelor's degree or even a PhD degree in a particular field. It's another thing to, have skills and experiences that will balance that out. I keep on saying this. Make sure that you improve yourself, like you really work on your skills and experiences, because from recruiters and from hiring managers, they focus more on that than really what you actually studied. Right? Moving on to my next point, the second reason why people tend to leave Ireland is because of tax. Ireland, from what I know, is one of the countries that pays the highest tax. Like, the individuals, they actually pay a lot of tax. And then the amount of tax that you actually pay would obviously boil down to your personal circumstance and the salary that you're earning. So for example, in Ireland, just this year, the tax bracket was actually increased. There is a standard one of 20% and there is another one of 40%. But this year they increased the salary range. So if you're earning anything from 36,800 and above, you would definitely be paying 40%. If you're earning anything lesser than that, it's going to be 20%. It's one thing really to find a job, it's another thing to find a job that is paying you high. And you know that sometimes a lot of people actually try to say, oh God, I want a job that's paying me a certain amount. I don't want a job that's paying me so high. Because the truth of the matter is that even if you get a job that's paying you so high, let's say you're earning about 40,000 euros, you will end up paying more tax than what you actually earn. It could be really frustrating and very unmotivating. Like, once you just think about the fact that you still have to do the same percent of work, the same amount of hours, but tax is taking the most part of it. Most people tend to be very frustrated about it. Most people tend to be very, unmotivated about this reason. And this can also be a reason why people will just be like, you know what, let me just go to a country that pays little or no tax. Especially from my country, Nigeria, I know that we do pay tax, but the tax that we pay is like literally small. And coming from a country like Nigeria and coming all the way here to Ireland, and you're here paying a tax of 40% from your salary, it's just a lot, because you just be like, what really am I working for? You'll be very skeptical in taking, more hours of working overtime, even if you need the money, because at the end of the day, tax still takes it. So it's really frustrating. People don't like this particular reason that we pay high tax, and then some people will be like, let me just go to a country that pays little, or a very little or small amount of tax. But I think one of the reasons why Ireland is one of those countries that pays very high tax is probably because our minimum wage is quite high compared to other countries at the same time, and then our cost of living is actually quite high. So everything should probably balance out. I don't know, I can't really explain so much about this topic, but I know that due to my research and me asking people, they have also mentioned that, with they are being taxed, and it's literally like they're not seeing this money anymore that they're working for. To them, it's, it's pointless. Now, moving on to my next reason why people, or why immigrants or foreigners actually migrate out of Ireland. This one, it was even shocking to me. Health insurance. If you're coming here using the student route, right, and you are told to pay 160 euros to the embassy for you to apply for your visa, once you pay that money and you come here, paying health insurance doesn't guarantee that you have the right to a GP. You still need to pay for a GP. There's still a process for you to be registered under a GP. When I came here, that literally blew my mind, because I'm just like, okay, fine, I'll pay the 160 euros to come here in Ireland. At least it gives me, the right to see a GP. But when I got here, the story, it's a different thing. That 160 euros I paid for health insurance, I never used it. You can't get the money back as well. And as long as you stay in the country every year and you keep on renewing your visa, you keep on paying extra. Once you're done with your studies, the 160 euros is gone, and you pay another 220 euros to renew to get your first year post-study work visa, and you renew again, you pay another 220 euros to get your second year. Let's say you get your stamp 1, you keep on renewing and paying the health insurance that goes in line with your visa. It's just really crazy, because the money that you're paying, it doesn't guarantee you to see a GP. You will still need to register. There's still a whole process in order for you to see a GP. There's still consultancy fee that you're going to pay, and even when they prescribe meds to you, you still need to pay for that. And I keep on asking, so why are we paying the health insurance? What's the health insurance for? From what I know and what I have heard, the health insurance you pay for is the gateway ticket that gives you the mantle to see a GP. Right? And once you see a GP, you still need to pay to see the GP. and after you see the GP, you pay for consultancy fee, and you still pay for the meds that will be prescribed to you. Like, it's very crazy. Imagine a family of 4 or 5, and let's say they are all not feeling well, and they are immigrants, and they have all paid health insurance fee to be here in the country because it's a mandatory requirement, and now they want to see GPs. They will each have to pay this money individually. It could be really, really expensive, and people are like, what's the point? Like, what's the point of paying health insurance when really you still have to pay more? You still have to pay through every process. Most immigrants actually complain about this, and people are just like, you know what, in my country it's quite easy. For example, I'm a Nigerian. I know in my country you would obviously have your own GP, or even if you don't have a GP, there are public hospitals that you could just walk into and see a GP. You don't necessarily need to pay for consultancy. You don't necessarily need to book appointments. Sometimes I have a friend, like a former roommate, that told me that she had to book an appointment to see a GP here, and it took her about 3 months to get a GP. Like, the wait could be that long, you know, except, you know, it's based on emergency. They are still working GP. Like, I know of a hospital here in Dublin that you could just walk in there and see a GP, but you pay 100 euros to see the GP. It's mind-blowing, to be very honest, and migrants are just like, why is the health, you know, system here, you know, so expensive? And that could be one of the reasons why people just be like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I will probably want to move back to my home country, you know, where things are cheaper. The healthcare system is still good, and the process is just, you know, easy. Moving on to my next point, why people actually migrate out of Ireland, is loneliness and depression. Honestly, I know that anytime that this topic comes up, especially maybe on Twitter or Instagram, people are like, oh, you can come back, let me take your place, I'd rather go there and be lonely. But the truth is that, guys, this is such a very touchy and sensitive point, because it happens. There is something called loneliness and depression. Leaving your family, leaving your friends, especially if you don't know nobody, and coming all the way to a foreign land, not just Ireland now, to any country, to a foreign land, it could be very lonely for you. It could be you could feel depression, so you're able to come out of your shell and make friends. The agency that did my whole application process, he formed a group chat and put all of us that were going to Ireland that particular year. So that was how we're able to make friends here and there, and know 1 or 2 people, and connect to the rest of, you know, people that are coming from your country. But imagine if there was no opportunity like that, and imagine even if there is an opportunity like that, there is this sense of loneliness and, you know, feeling that I feel like it's not being spoken enough, or it's being laughed about anytime you speak about it, because people don't just believe, and sometimes some people are not emotionally strong enough to handle that feeling. They could be so focused on it, it will start affecting their studies, it will start affecting their lifestyle. They'll be missing home so much, no friends, no family. They will not be able to go out of their comfort, you know, their comfort zone. They will probably try to finish the masters because they have to, but these people, they won't be happy. They'll always be crying, they'll keep to themselves, not be able to talk to anybody, not share their problems. It's just like a time bomb for them that is just ticking, and they know that, oh, by the time I'm done my masters or my school program, I'm going back, because I can't do this. I can't continue staying here. I can't keep being lonely. I can't keep being depressed. So yeah, loneliness is a thing, guys. Depression is a thing when you move from a country where you have love, you feel safe, you feel love, you have people around that you can communicate. You leave that kind of environment. People, after they're done with their master's program, they're just like, you know what, I just want to be back with my family. I want to go back to my family. I want to be with my family. And they just, you know, say, I'm leaving Ireland, just because of that reason. And the next point why people actually leave Ireland is financial difficulties. Ireland, if you don't know, it's an expensive country, especially as a foreigner coming all the way from Nigeria that was, you know, quite cheap. Ireland is actually an expensive country. It's a country where you have to work. You need to work hard in order for you to survive in this country. Once you come in, you're going to be on your own. You're going to be paying your rent. You're going to be paying your bills, phone bills, electricity, gas bills. We don't pay for water here, but there are a lot of things to pay for. If you're a student, you need to buy books, transportation, feeding. Emergencies could come up, your clothing, literally hanging out with friends. There are a lot of reasons that you need money for. As a student, you're only allowed to work 20 hours per week. So now, working 20 hours per week, and let's just say your work is your only source of income, at the time. Let's say you're not receiving financial assistance from home, you're now caught in between having to survive and having to study. The financial difficulties could be a lot. For example, if you fall ill and you need to see a GP, you need money for it. So just the fact that you're struggling, and at the end of the day, everything you're struggling for at the end of the month goes into rent, goes into bills, and you literally have little or nothing to save, little or nothing to invest, little or nothing to even enjoy yourself. People are just like, why this stress? Why am I stressing myself so much? Sometimes a lot of people could actually fall ill out of the fact that they're trying to balance their academic life and their financial situation. So for some people it could be really hard. Probably not hard for you, but some people it could be really hard for them to actually, balance these two. So financial difficulties, being able to balance their financial life with their personal life, with your school life, your business life, being able to, keep up, to be very honest, especially if you're living in expensive counties, for example, like Dublin. It's one of the reasons why people are just like, this whole stress, me working here and there, I'm just working to be paying bills, literally. And the little I have is just for, savings, a little savings or investing. They're just like, I'll just go back to my home country where the cost of living is cheaper. I'm able to work, I'm able to, pay little money. Because, for example, in Ireland, the rent that somebody could pay in a month is something that somebody in Nigeria could pay in a year. Calculate that. Just if you're a Nigerian or you're an African, just calculate that. The rent that somebody could pay, just the rent, leave bills aside, just the rent that somebody could pay in a month is something that somebody is paying a whole year in Nigeria. So once people think about that, they're just like, I can't keep up. I can't keep up. I'm not, I no longer know myself, because all I'm doing every day is just work, and at the end of the day, I'm just paying bills. Financial difficulties equals to no joy. The next point why people actually, want to leave Ireland is because of the weather. For example, I know in Canada where it snows, during the winter period, when people make videos and they're like, oh, look at how the country is, do you still want to come? There are a lot of bans that people make online saying, oh, come back, I'll take your place, I'd rather go there since you don't want to stay there, I'm good with cold. In as much as it's all fun and games and jokes, that's a valid reason why people would actually think of going back. Now I'm talking about Ireland. It doesn't really snow as much, right? But once it's cold, it is legit cold. Coming from a country as Nigeria or Africa, where we know that our degree is quite high, like we could be having 20 something degrees, 30 degrees, it could be really, really, really hot. And then you're just moving down, boom, to a country where you're saying 5 degrees, you're saying 2 degrees, -1 degree. Unless you're somebody that is not good with cold, or being cold like that could actually literally make you fall ill, you can't stand it. People actually find that as a valid reason why they would actually go back to their home countries. And then moving on to my last point, it is starting from the beginning. And I think that this doesn't just apply to Ireland as a country, this applies to you moving from even just one city to another city. So this is one of the questions, or this is one of the points that I get a good number of questions from people. I had someone who reached out to me. He was a lawyer, or he's a lawyer in Nigeria, and he was looking to come to Ireland for his master's degree program, right? And then the question is, what kind of jobs do I do, or would I be doing even if I am a student? And then I try to explain, if you come here as a student, because the hours that you're allowed to work is already limited, 20 hours per week. That means the kind of jobs that you'll be allowed to do would also be restricted, because, for example, if you want to work in a company, nobody will literally hire you as a student except they have need for part-time roles. If you're going to be coming here as a student, it's mostly a job like being a sales rep, customer service, maybe working as a kitchen porter, kitchen assistant, as a cleaner, just so that you have the money to make ends meet. I'm not saying that there are no jobs that are part-time and students haven't been able to do that falls in line with their choice of study. I'm not saying that there are jobs like that. For how many? It's very restricted, it's very limited, and the chances of you getting those kind of jobs are very slim, because there is already a restriction on the amount of hours that you are allowed to work. Like I said, except the company has the need for a part-time individual, right? So I tried to explain all of these things to him, and he didn't get it. And I could understand, because him being a lawyer in his home country, coming all the way to Ireland to do masters, he wants to be working in something that has to do with his profession, because to him, he's already thinking, oh, I'm leaving everything that I have built in Nigeria and I'm coming all the way here to Ireland. What is it for me? Is it just the master's degree? How am I going to survive? What is my career going to, look like? So the fear is just fear. It's the fear of starting afresh, because if he's coming here as a student, even if he's able to, let's say, get a job as a secretary or as a clerk or something, a part-time job which goes in line with him, the truth is that because of his profession, he's also restricted. He's already a lawyer in Nigeria. If he's going to come here to Ireland and he wants to be a lawyer still, he can't just be a lawyer. He can't just come to Ireland and just go to court and start, having cases. There's still going to be a whole lot of process aside from the master's degree that he's coming to get. He probably will need to, go to their law school, take the exams that they have taken before he's able to practice law in Ireland. So he's just thinking, and that I can literally understand. It's just the fear of starting all over again. Is it worth it? Like, is it worth it leaving my country and coming here, and just starting afresh? What is it for me? What's the possibility that I would be there, or I will get to where I want to get to? Don't you think it's just better I stay in my home country? Or for people that have even come here and they have tried to, blend with the society and try to make something out of themselves and their career, and it's not working, they're just like, what's the point? Why don't I just go back to my home country where I'm already somebody, where I've already attained a certain level? I could continue from there. It's easier for them to build up on what they have already started than go to a foreign land and start again. So starting from beginning is one of the points that scares people, because it's very uncertain. It's too vague. Like, you can't know what is going to happen, and some people would not want to risk it. Just the fear of that would actually make them to maybe just come to do their master's degree, get the knowledge, get the experience and everything, and then move back to their home country and continue from where they stopped. Some people will not even bother coming all the way to a foreign land because of the fear. So just to conclude this video, no country is perfect. Every country has their own disadvantages and advantages. This is not to discourage anyone from coming to Ireland. Like I stated, this points here apply to a few people, doesn't mean it applies to everybody. It's not a fact, it's just a research and opinion from people that have left or people that are looking to leave. I hope that you guys were able to get a thing or two, and if you're looking to migrate to Ireland either through study or work, or just come and live here, I hope that these points have kind of like shaped your mind and giving you a lot more knowledge to the country that you're coming to study or coming to live or coming to work in. And yeah, that's it pretty much, guys. If you learned a thing or two, please don't forget to subscribe and also hit the notification bell down there beside the subscribe button. My name remains Freya and I love you guys. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.